The year was 2007, and I witnessed a scene on television that kind of changed my life forever. And I'm sure many of you guys can relate as well. It was the first anime transformation I ever witnessed, and let me tell you, it was nothing short of
Legendary.
If you have watched anime long enough, you know transformations are one of the most epic moments in the series. It's always very exciting to watch your favorite character turn all their anger and sadness into, explosion of energy, and then they burst into some kind of monstrous and celestial being. It's so amazing, right? And it's always a pleasure to watch.
First, let's go back to when I first started watching Dragon Ball Z, when it aired on Toonami, and it had me hooked from day one. The show began with the Reddit saga, and it always ended when the Ginyu Force arrived during the Frieza saga. Every time the show hit that point, it would restart from the beginning, over and over again. I remember being a little frustrated, but I kept watching it, waiting, hoping for something more. Then one day it didn't restart, it moved forward. I could barely contain my excitement as I finally got to see what happened after Ginyu Force arrived. Everything that followed was exhilarating, and then we arrived at what would become a defining moment in my life. Throughout the arc, there had been this buzz, this build up about something called Super Saiyan. It was spoken of like a legend, something mysterious and powerful. I didn't know when or how it would happen, but I knew it would be a game changer.
I wanna be a Super Saiyan. I wanna.
And then the final showdown between Goku and Frieza arrived. Things had already reached a fever pitch, but when Frieza killed Krillin right in front of Goku, right then, in that moment, I knew something was about to happen. I could feel it. My heart was racing as I watched Goku's reaction. I was glued to the screen and my breath caught in my throat. Then, in an explosion of power, it happened. Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan. I still remember sitting there completely frozen. It felt like the world around me had stopped. The raw power of that moment, the sheer intensity, it was like nothing I had ever seen before. Goku, right then and there, became a legend. The golden hair, the piercing eyes, the shift in the aura, it was like Goku had ascended beyond anything I could imagine. The transformation wasn't just a power up, it was an awakening, and it was electric. That feeling stayed with me for years, even after seeing other Dragon Ball Z transformations. Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta becoming Super Vegeta, Goku reaching Super Saiyan 3. While every moment was amazing and jaw dropping, nothing quite matched that first Super Saiyan moment. That transformation didn't just change Goku, it transformed anime itself, influencing countless other anime transformations to come and also making me a huge anime fan. After that, I searched for moments that could give me that same adrenaline rush. I watched many other anime after that. I love all that popular transformations. Naruto's Nine-Tail Chakra mode, Ichigo's Hollow form, Yusuke's demon transformation, Luffy turning up his gears. Each one was awesome in its own right, but none of them gave me that same indescribable feeling. Until 2014. I was watching Animax when I stumbled across a show that I hadn't paid much attention to before, Hunter x Hunter. The episode airing at that time was during the iconic Razor match. It was intense, seriously intense. I remember sitting there 5 minutes in, completely hooked by the tension, the strategy, and the action. But then I did something unexpected. I changed the channel. Not because I didn't love what I was seeing, quite the opposite actually. I turned it off because I'm the type of person who hates spoilers. And I knew that I had to watch Hunter x Hunter from the beginning. I wanted to experience it all in order, with no interruptions or sneak peeks. So I went back and started from the very beginning. And it wasn't long before Hunter x Hunter became one of my all-time favorite shows. But nothing could have prepared me for what was to come during the Chimera Ant arc. I already knew that Hunter x Hunter wasn't your typical shonen. It was deeper, more complex, and unpredictable. But something was brewing beneath the surface with Gon's character, a darkness and anger that was slowly building. I didn't know where it would lead, but I had a feeling it was going to be something huge. And then episode 131 happened. To defeat Pito, who killed a kite, Gon went through a change that I had never seen before in anime. He didn't just level up or unlock some hidden potential, he threw it all away for one fight. It wasn't your typical power up moment. Gon ascended beyond that bright, innocent kid we knew, turning into something dark and almost rustic form. I love how Internet Pitstop called it the reverse Super Saiyan because yeah, that's exactly what it was. I had seen transformations before, sure, but this was different. This wasn't about a hero leveling up to defeat a villain. This was about loss. It was about sacrifice. Gon's transformation wasn't something to celebrate. It was something to grieve. It wasn't the bright golden moment of triumph like Goku's Super Saiyan transformation. It was dark, raw, and filled with despair. As Gon unleashed his full potential against Pito, I sat there feeling a wave of emotions wash over me. This wasn't the feeling of excitement or triumph I had felt with Goku. No, this was something more profound. This transformation was painful to watch because it was rooted in tragedy, in sorrow, and in the cost of power. Gon wasn't just stepping into his potential, he was sacrificing everything for revenge. All his hope, his future, and even his humanity were being poured into this desperate act. His transformation was fueled not by a desire to protect or to grow stronger, but by an uncontrollable rage and despair over losing Kite. It was haunting. And just like with Goku's Super Saiyan transformation, I was glued to the screen, unable to look away. But this time, the feeling wasn't one of excitement. It was a heavy, sinking feeling. A realization that Gon was no longer the bright, optimistic kid we had known. He had become something else, something darker, something tragic. It was in that moment that I realized something important. I had spent years chasing that same feeling I got from Goku's transformation. But the truth was, I had evolved as a viewer. I didn't need the same kind of transformation to feel that same rush. Gon had crossed a threshold that no other shonen protagonist had, and the emotional impact of that moment hit me just as hard, if not harder, than Goku's legendary transformation. These two moments, Goku's first Super Saiyan transformation and Gon's dark evolution in the Chimera Ant arc, are in my opinion the two most influential transformations in anime history. One marked the birth of an iconic power-up that would inspire countless other anime transformations. The other reconstructed that very formula, showing us that power comes with a price and sometimes that price is too high. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. I've got more epic anime moments to dive into, so stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.